Welcome back to week 3 of Fascism versus Pokemon cards. In the recent weeks we've had some amazing pulls, but in the last video that I did with the first years, exploring the French Revolution, we hit a drought. So, I have made a decision. This week we are still going to be pursuing those Team Rocket cards, be it cards featuring Mewtwo or cards featuring Giovanni, but if we hit another drought this week, a big decision has been made. If you saw the last video, you will know that we have this box. It still remains sealed and unopened. If we hit a drought today, or if we hit a drought over 2 videos at any point over the next couple of weeks, we're going to open this box and start opening 1 pack every single week, hoping that we hit some sort of magic Pokemon trading card gold in here. It's going to stay shut for now, but keep an eye on that set. Keep an eye on it, because it may well be open depending on what comes out to these cards, or indeed what does not. Last week we opened a few Unified Minds packs. We're going to open up our last pack of this. We got some great pulls last week. We'll see if there's one more prize hidden in here. So what are we looking at in this week's session on fascism in Europe? Well, last week we explored the rise to power of Mussolini. We started talking about the March on Rome and how Mussolini positioned himself as the youngest prime minister in Italian history at that point in time. Let's get started. We've got a tag switch. We've done this wrong. The energy card's in the wrong place, but let's keep going. Let's see what comes out of this set. So this week we're going to be thinking a little bit about how Mussolini consolidated his position of power and authority. Let's try and bring that in a little bit closer. We're kind of blur ourselves out of this a little bit. Or it's late at night here, so we've got some weird lighting issues going on. Let's see. We'll know if we draw something epic if it comes out. Let's see what comes through here. We'll go through this fairly quickly because we're going to try and go through 4 packs. That's a nice one. What have we got here? Is that going to have a star in it? No, it's not a star. Thought it might be a little shiny. Okay, we're towards the end. Pidove. Pidove, that's not particularly rare, but it's a pretty card. What about the last card from this pack? And it's a Noivern. Shiny Noivern, and we had the water energy at the back. So, does the drought continue? Who knows? Anyway, talking about the consolidation of power, there are a number of ways in which this is achieved, but one of the things that we'll be focusing on is the use of propaganda, really the development of a cult of personality. One of the things we'll be focusing on is the Luce organization, essentially the propaganda arm of the fascist political movement. We'll be looking at some of the propaganda films that are produced in that period of time. There we go, that's vaguely in zoom focus. Apologies, the camera's jumping around all over the place. We'll be looking at how movements like the Battle of Fagrain and for the Battle for Births are illustrated through cinema. We'll look at some of those comparisons, perhaps some of those glib comparisons between figures like Mussolini and Putin. The stage pictures of him looking like a proper masculine figure, dominant in his landscape on the back of horses and engaged in extreme sporting activities. Really looking at where that template was established. That's a nice, well, what have we got? We've got Duraludon. That's a new card. We don't have Duraludon. That's going to have a, yep. So we've got a rare reverse card. So there is our pop quiz for the 3rd years. There's only 1 pop quiz for the 1st years. So that's good. Last card. And it's Galarian Wheezing. Cool. Okay, so still a bit of a drought, but we'll see what comes out. Couple more packs to go. Still a chance. So we look at the way in which that image of Mussolini is cultivated. Some of the videos are really entertaining. They have that slightly comical feel, the overblown characterization of Mussolini. But it's also insightful as well, the way in which a particular narrative is being crafted about Mussolini's personality and character. We'll also be giving some attention towards the process of Romanita. We've talked about the inconsistencies of fascism in the past, the way in which the fascist ideology both rejects and adopts historical or past narratives. We'll review those that awkward relationship where a classical Rome is both a reference point and a point of departure for the fascist movement. Fascism is often looking to isolate and remove itself from its classical narratives, but it aspires to the greatness of Rome. Bartleby, what have we got? Do we have? Well, that's wow. Our luck is really drying up here. Okay, we've got one more pack to go, and nothing has come out. So this box here is looking vulnerable. If this pack comes up a dud, we'll be opening that box next week, which is both exciting and terrifying because we're probably going to devalue that box dramatically just by opening it. But anyway, so the cult of Romanita. So we'll look at some of the ways in which the landscape of Rome, the classical landscape of Rome, okay, we've got the cards in the right order this time, was cultivated in a way to reinforce that narrative of greatness. I mean, if you are a tourist visiting Rome today and you think that there's quite an easy sense of access to some of the greatest treasures of classical Rome, well, the accessibility of those treasures is very much down to the fascist movement in Italy in the latter part of the 20s and the 30s. Those routeways through the landscape that tourists use today were very much laid down in the period of fascist ascendancy. So the tourism landscape is very much a product of fascism. So in a sense, you can offer thanks to figures like Mussolini for curating the landscape in a way which was accessible and introduced Italians to, or perhaps a better way of thinking about it, reconnected Italians to their classical inheritance. We're at the very end of this pack. It's a reverse mash. Medisham. Is that a star? I don't think it's a star, so I'll have a closer look. Nope, not even a star on that. But we've got one card left for this week, and we've pulled pretty much nothing of significance this week. What about the last card here? What do we have? The set might be saved. What have we got? Oh, it's Eiscue. Oh, Eiscue V. The big penguin. Is he going to show up? There we go. I love this penguin. He's a ridiculous one. He's not going to show up particularly well, but what a card to finish on. Okay, so we are ultra rare. I can't quite see in the light. I can't remember if this is a secret. I don't think it's a secret. No, not a secret rare, so I don't have to perform anything this week. That's good. But that is one additional reading. For the 3rd years, lucky you guys, you're always pulling readings. The 3rd years, you have come through once more. I didn't have this card before today, so I'm very pleased about that. The week has been saved, just as we start talking about Mussolini, the cult of personality, and the process of Romanita. These are good, fun subjects. I love them as a topic, and I love that card. The weekend is saved. That box is saved. But don't worry, because I have a fair old stack of cards left to go through. So, I very much look forward to seeing you on Tuesday. The 3rd years, you keep bringing me luck and I keep offering you thanks. And tell you what, if you really want me to keep reading from the Cardinal's Mistress, Benito Mussolini's famed, although not famous enough, surely, romance novel, I will happily do so to celebrate that one weekend saving card. Awesome. I bid you good night and look forward to seeing you on Tuesday. Adieu.